of the business school at Langston University since 1983. He developed the National Institute for the Study of Minority Enterprise. His responsibilities include raising money for endowments and scholarships. Dr. Ernest Holloway stated that he was a great leader and he will be missed at Langston University, but his living has not been in vain. He was very progressive in his department. Under his leadership, the School of Business was progressive. Yes, you will have to look a long time, according to Mr. Ballard, to find a man like Dr. Hall that have an undying love and dedication for something. He will truly be missed. The Associate Professor of Business Management to W.J. Hadley said that he was a businessman. He had a vision. He was able to network with small businesses to raise money for a new building for his department. And some of his efforts were being paid off. But last week, a hunt went out for Dr. Calvin Hall, looking for the dean who disappeared while traveling to Mississippi last week. The dean of Langston's Business School and vice president of institutional advancement was traveling to Greensville, Mississippi. And then it happened. It happened. Dr. Hall's body was pulled out of Lake Eufaula. Dr. Hall was in his automobile. Dr. Hall was dead. But he had helped so many people paving the way in which we must travel. And that is down the business road. We must become involved in businesses. You heard Dr. Hall on the Clara Luper radio show on Homecoming as he talked about his dreams for Langston University. And he talked about how happy he was to see people come home for homecoming. But on Wednesday morning at 11 a.m., Dr. Calvin Hall will return home to Langston University, a university that he loves so much. Although death has silenced his voice, Reverend John Coleman, chaplain emeritus of Langston University, will deliver the eulogy. His family from Iowa will be here, but his Langston family will be there because they loved him with a passion. Many of the students have talked about how he touched their lives, how he encouraged them. But he's coming home to Langston University on Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the I.W. Young Auditorium, where his funeral will be held. Yes, I had the opportunity this week to go, as it is a tradition with me, to the annual Thanksgiving service, and maybe the Honorable Reverend W.D. Mims was speaking to all of us, because he stated to us in no uncertain terms that in all things give thanks. So today we want to thank God that he allowed Dr. Calvin Hall to touch our lives and inspiration. He was excited about a scholarship program and an exchange student program that he was working on with some universities in South Africa. Oh, how he loved him. You never know how much you love a person until they are gone. And maybe this is a wake-up call for us to show love to people while they are living, to hear words of encouragement while we can still hear them. And as we think of Dr. Calvin Hall, we must question what actually happened. We do not know. And there are many people that do not believe that Dr. Hall ran off the highway. There are many people that are asking questions. If the car went down, how did how did his briefcase get to the top? There are a lot of questions, and I'm sure there will be a complete investigation on the death of Dr. Calvin Hall. But in the meantime, Reverend Mims made no secret of it. In all things, we must give thanks. We must give thanks to God for letting us have a man with the caliber of Dr. Calvin Hall. Yes, he will be missed at Langston University. He will be missed by business leaders from all over this country, in Europe and in Asia. Yes, he has touched so many lives, but his living was not in vain. Now we must pick up, and we must carry on. How did Dr. Holloway put it? We must find strength in each other for the days that are ahead. Now we can talk about love all we want to, but until we put our money where our talk is, it's all in vain. Many of us today are saddened by Dr. Hall's death. But Reverend Williams say in all things we must give thanks, and we can give thanks for the work that Dr. Hall did by making a contribution to the Calvin J. Hall Endowed Scholarship Fund. This fund will enable young people to pick up the dream of a Calvin Hall and carry it out. The family has requested that there will be no flowers. But in place of flowers, you would give to the thing that was the closest to Dr. Hall's heart, that endowed scholarship fund, where young people of all races, creeds, and colors can benefit. That's a true showing of love. Calvin J. Hall School of Business Endowed Scholarship Fund. And I know you would like to make a contribution to that fund. Doesn't make any difference how small. It doesn't make any difference how large. But it does make a difference whether you care enough about a man that worked over hours. Some people say he worked too hard, but he must be remembered. And today on the Clara Luper radio show, I'm appealing to each one of you that loved Dr. Hall. And those of you that heard about Dr. Hall, I want you to say, I will give to see to it that his dream of building great business people, of a building on all, will become a reality. You may do that, and you may send your donations once again to the Calvin J. Hall Endowed Scholarship Fund, Langston University, Langston, Oklahoma. This is the Clara Luper radio show. Today is the day, and we have received so many Thanksgiving messages from all of you out in Radio Land, and thank you so much for remembering me. I continue to tell you to give me my flowers while I live, because I don't want you coming in with the flowers after I die, because I can't smell them and I can't see them. So give me my flowers now. Clara Luper reporting. And today you will have an opportunity to give me flowers by making your contribution to the Dr. Calvin J. Hall Endowed Scholarship Fund. Those are flowers that you are giving because you want Dr. Hall to continue to live visibly, because every time you see a business student walk out with a scholarship, you can say with pride, there he goes, Dr. Calvin Hall. This is a tough one, but Reverend Mims made it plain that we, in all things, we must give thanks. Those of you that missed the annual Thanksgiving service on Thursday, November 24th at 11 o'clock at the Emmanuel Baptist Church missed a spiritual experience. Reverend W.D. Mims talked about what he learned down home, how he learned to be grateful, how he learned to be thankful. Oh, he described it like no one but Reverend W.D. Mims could. Be grateful in all things. For the first time, President T.H. Hubbard, because of illness, not only of his wife but of himself, was not present. And when you are used to seeing people in a particular situation, you said, oh, I miss President T.H. Hubbard. But Reverend John Reed was there, John Reed Jr., and he took over for him. This is the day that you will have an opportunity to talk to Clara. The telephone number out here is 6721220. I guess everybody was surprised this week when you found out that we were in trouble as far as the bond issue was concerned. Were you surprised when you read that the city schools expect a deficit of $3.2 million? 1 year after Citizens passed an $80 million bond issue, the district, according to the Daily Oklahoman, has found itself $3.2 million short of completing those promised projects. School board members are finding out now what actually happened. Board member Thelma Parks, who voted in favor of naming one of the 2 new elementary schools for herself, called the shortfall involving the school a lack of planning. Can you believe that? Can you believe that our board member would say we haven't planned? Well, what in the world have y'all been doing, you board members? I'm trying now to get in contact with President Heiss. I've called him this morning. I know he and his wife both have flu, but I hope that he's able to talk to me this morning. Now, if we don't have people on the Board of Education that are planning, what are they doing? Thelma Parks said, according to the Daily Oklahoman, we just did not have time to look at what we were doing. I didn't say too much about my school because I didn't want people to think this was self-serving. Now, I didn't think Thelma Parks had a school. I thought that was a public school, a school that, according to the Board of Education, was named after her. Now, I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma. And in Hoffman, Oklahoma, before we would buy anything, we would plan to buy it. If we wanted to buy some pop for a nickel, we put our pennies together and buy it. But you mean to tell me that in Oklahoma City, with all of the PhDs and the CumDs and the MomDs and all, we would vote an $80 million bond issue, and our leaders will say to us, we just did not have time to look at what we were doing. Now, if you have read the article carefully, it states that the staff didn't do it. The staff didn't do it. Why didn't the staff do it? Those are people that's on big salaries, and if they didn't do their job, why? Now we have a dispute among the board members. For example, Ron Bogle states that Mrs. Parks misled or didn't give the correct information. He stated, and according to the Oklahoma report, that the information, he blamed the staff. And he stated that the comments that Thelma Parks gave may leave the wrong impression with the public about the board's role in the current dilemma. Mr. Ron stated that Thelma stated that we just did not take time to look at what we were doing. In fact, some members of the board have been very diligent over the last 9 months in attempting to get the kind of information, reports, and other data that were needed. Now, what's wrong with the Board of Education if they can't get the right information? Clara Luper reporting. Thanksgiving started with us with a big meeting. Gladys Caddy, Carrie Watkins, Onita Brown, and Clara Luper kicked off our Thanksgiving celebration on Tuesday. Let me go back and call. Those were their Hoffman names. I'm going to call their Oklahoma City names. Gladys Elliott, Carrie Williams from Los Angeles, California, Onita Brown from Hoffman, Oklahoma. Now, in this big celebration, that's a pre-Thanksgiving celebration, there were 3 from Hoffman and 1 from Grayson. Now, Gladys Elliott is from Grayson, and she carried that Grayson line. Carrie Watkins came from Los Angeles to add her bit, and she will be here until December the 2nd. All they talked. I had the opportunity to take them out to dinner, and then at dinner they all ended up with the same kind of pie. I'm not going to tell you that kind of pie because they didn't have that kind of pie in Hoffman, but boy, they all came up with the same kind of pie. And they were so happy. I better say, we were so happy. A lady that did not know us came over and said, I just admire y'all because I don't see people that is happy as you are. Well, she didn't know we were from Hoffman and Grayson, and we are happy people. We got something to be happy about because it's no secret. Hoffman and Grayson are 2 towns that are on the ball. I see where Hoffman got a grant of $4,000, and I don't know no telling what we would do down at Hoffman, Oklahoma. But I tell you one thing you can do today if you need a haircut, and I'm talking about a real one. All you have to do is go to Gates Barbershop. Gates Barbershop, located at 2609 North Martin Luther King in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Mr. Gates and Mr. Gamble are there waiting for you. You deserve the best, and certainly the best is Gates Barber Shop in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Dr. A.L. Dow has taken this opportunity to wish you a happy holiday season, and that's for the entire holiday. Dr. A.L. Dow is our optometrist located at 934 Northeast 8th Street in Oklahoma City. His telephone number is 2350536. And you can call him for an appointment if you want one early or late. Designed to help you. Dr. Dow will take care of your eyes. Many of you have called me to see if I'm going to have a Bachelor of the Year this year. Of course I'm going to have a Bachelor of the Year. Now let me tell you something. If you know of a bachelor, I'm talking about a real bachelor. I'm not talking about a make-believe bachelor. A bachelor that has dignity, that has integrity, an honest bachelor. A bachelor that's looking for a wife. Now some of you have been on the bachelor's list 3 or 4 times, and you're still on it. Now I don't want those habitual bachelor, I don't know what to call them. But anyway, those people just wait around, won't get married to anybody, just wait for the bachelor's list. Now, I'm going through my list. Those of you that would like to get on the bachelor's list, or if you know a good bachelor, he can be, I don't care what color he is, I don't care what size he is, I don't care, but I don't want no bumming bachelor. I don't want a bachelor that can't even take you out to dinner. I don't want a bachelor that has plenty of nothing, because I want to introduce these bachelors to some of the most intelligent and best looking women in America. Now, if you know a bachelor, I'm talking about a real bachelor, and some of you people are married and then you come faking up talking about you a bachelor. You better not do that. If so, I will ruin you, because I get on radio and I will say that you are pretending to be a bachelor and got a wife. Yes, I will do that for you. Now, you may call 672-1220, or you may contact us at 424-3949, or you may write us at Post Office Box 11106, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, you bachelors, this is your chance. Certainly is your chance to go to Hometown IGA and buy your groceries. There are some special sales that are going on at Hometown IGA, and when you go in, look for the sales slip. Hometown IGA. Edwards the Redeemer would like to extend holiday greetings to all of you. They are located at 1530 Northeast Grand Boulevard. Now, if you want to put your people in a place where they will be taken care of 24 hours, think in terms of Edwards Redeemer, 1530 Northeast Grand Boulevard here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Mrs. Gloria Matthews and Mr. Paul Matthews extend holiday greetings to each one of you from Chancellor's Chardina's Daycare, 1643 Northeast to 50th Street in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 424-4656, 424-4656, 1643 Northeast to 50th Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Paul and Gloria Matthews have pickups and delivery service. They have a program that's available. They have a preschool computer literacy program. They will work with you not only on a cash basis but on co-payments. They have been certified by DHS. That's Thompson's Jardina's Daycare, located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street and 1917 Northeast 24th Street. If you need night care 6 days a week, be sure and call Gloria Matthews, 424-4656. As we celebrate the holiday, we have to do some thinking. We have to think about our friends, people that care about us, people that are concerned about us. And then we have to think of those that do not care about us, because they have to be loved too. Mrs. Stale at Stale's Restaurant, located in 1100 block on Northeast 23rd, would like to thank those of you that gave her the opportunity to prepare your Thanksgiving dinner. She will have the same program for Christmas, and all you will have to do is to think in terms of good food, that good down-home food. The food at Stale's Restaurant in Oklahoma City. All you have to do is to just let Miss Stale, located at 1100 Northeast 23rd, 427-9185, know exactly what you want, and she will do it. It's no use of you continuing to rent. You can buy a home from Clara Carbon, 1242 Northeast 34th Street. You may call 427-8311, and Carl will put you in a home before you can turn around. Mr. Clara Carbon, an expert in his field. Well, this is it. This is the day. This is the day, and I love to talk about passion care. 3005 Northwest 36th Street. The telephone number is 943-5779. A place where Deborah will help you. Now, the passion home care is different from anything else, because they will come in your home and take care of your loved ones. They will do everything that's needed. You don't know how to take care of a patient. They have the expertise. They have doctors and nurses, dentists. They have everything you need. All you have to do is call 943-5779. Ask for Deborah. Tell her you heard it on the Clara Luper radio show. You were calling me about the banquet of the night. Well, I do have something to say about the NACP banquet, and I would like to say how shocked I was when I found that a local radio station that only has 2 blacks on the program, 1 news reporter, and blacks on a weekend program received the award. I would like to remind those people that was on that award committee that you have 2 outstanding radio stations that have always ministered to the needs of people. KTLV 1220 AM and KVSP. Now, it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a station that has hired a large number of blacks, a station in which blacks have been allowed to preach the gospel on, then you must be talking about KTLV and KVSP. Now, I know some of my best friends are workers. They happen to be white at this other radio station that was honored Saturday night by the NACP, and to me, it was just a big joke. Joke. K-E, joke. I hope I spelled it right. If I didn't, my grandson Cameron Myers will spell it for me. Now, we have been talking to KTOK for a long time, and we have admired KTOK. But everybody in this state knows that KTOK has not given to the black community like KTLV, KVSP, and KBYE. Well, anyway, you're saying it's none of my business. I didn't make the news. I'm just reporting it. KTLV and KVSP certainly those two radio stations have my highest compliments because they are giving employment, not to two, not on a Saturday evening when everybody else is gone football crazy or basketball crazy or out of town, but who works for you. And when I think of the announcements that have been made by Larry and others on KTLV and KVSP, I say, Lord, have mercy on us. Clara Luper reporting. Now, those of you that have different views, you can certainly express your opinion. But I would like to express my gratitude to United Drugs with the Honorable Mr. Graham, who's there to serve your needs. And if you're looking for Christmas bargains, before you go spend your money, go to United Drugs. Soloway's been with us for a long, long time. And because of that, they would like to extend greetings to you. Letty?
Yes.
Oh, how are you feeling this beautiful day?
Oh, I'm doing nicely, Mrs. Luper. I'm doing nicely, and I'm just so thankful that I'm doing as well as I am. I walked to the kitchen, and I really my friends, and I'm thankful to them, and I wanted to really say thanks to them. And I'm just so thankful that I had so many friends. You know, Clara, you just never know who is your friend until you really need someone. And I've had so many of my friends to call me and to ask about me and to see about me. And I just want to be thankful and thank the Lord that I had all of these kinds of friends. And then I want to extend my heartfelt sympathy to the whole family. I know it is a shocking loss, not only to the family, but it's a shocking loss to Langston University and all of those who are connected and associated with Langston University. And those who knew him. Clara, just think, on the 8th of November, homecoming day, remember he was on your program. And it's hard to conceive that today he's not here. So that really tells us that we should be ye also ready, because you never know the day, nor the hour, nor the time, nor the way in which you may go. And to me, he was such a dedicated person. He was a person who wanted to see progress. He wanted to see students achieve. And he wanted to provide ways and means for their achievement. Because he knew that if you're going to succeed and if you're going to achieve, there must be some strong force helping you to do this.
Yes.
He is that strong force at Langston University.
Letty?
Yes.
I know how you feel this morning because we all feel the same way. But aren't you on that equity committee for the Board of Education?
Yes, indeed, Mrs. Luper, I'm on that. And, you know, on last Saturday, Calvin and I had the privilege of being on the radio and had your radio program. And you weren't there, so I could say a lot of things to Calvin that I know if you were there, I never would have gotten to say those kinds of things. But, you know, I gave a call. I called all board members. I'm calling all board members. That's what I said on your radio program last week. All board members. And I was one, I think that was last week. And I was wanting all the board members to listen because we have an equity program.
You have an equity program?
And, yes, that's set up by the board under the understanding that this equity committee is to set up to observe the schools, and it was set up, I understand, by the courts. And I remember when Muse was there, and they set that committee up, and I told Muse I wanted to be on the committee, but he didn't put me on it because he didn't like the way I was debating.
But Letty,
But I finally got on there, and I said this to all of the board members. You know, they do not have representatives coming to that equity committee. Now, I know, I know I'm a slow learner. I'm kind of slow learner, don't catch on very well, and maybe I don't understand things. And I know that they're not trying to kill the program. I know that's not it, but maybe they just have not.
No, let's not make me about it.
What?
Letty.
What?
Letty, what I want to know,
What do
you
want?
remember the Equity Committee,
Yes.
and here we pick up the paper and find that Oklahoma City expects a $3.2 million, and a board member, Thelma Parks, say that it's a lack of planning. Now, what's the purpose of your Equity Committee, the staff, and the board members?
Well, now, we have nothing to do with those sorts of things.
Can you ask about them?
Well, Mrs. Luper, now see, the board members to take care of all of that, and when they get things established, we're supposed to go out there to see if there's equity in all of the schools that they have in Oklahoma City. But now, before we can do that, we got to have some representation. Now,
you have representation. We have elected board members.
What I'm saying, the board members need to send them a representative to this equity committee if they want to get it off the floor. Now, if they don't want to get it off the floor, they're going to do exactly to the equity committee as they're saying that they have done in making provisions to build these buildings. We didn't plan, we didn't do this, we didn't make arrangements, and we didn't know, and we hadn't thought of, and because you wouldn't be able to build a school building and not think about putting chairs in it, because where are you going to fit even to get it built? This doesn't it.
All right. Now, Letty.
What?
Do you know, will the gyms where many of the programs are held, will that be air conditioned?
That's one thing I just couldn't believe. They said the gyms were not included in the air conditioning. I said, now I know we are not going to say that we're going to air condition the building and we're not going to air condition the gym. Because in that gym, there are students there practically every hour. And then on the weekend, you have the public coming in, the public that has voted for air conditions, coming in to look at it. And you mean to tell me we have voted and you're not going to air condition them gyms? We can still go in them hot gyms to try to watch some games? Now, Ms. Luper, wait 1 minute. I know I'm a slow student.
Well, do you think, Mrs. Hunter,
What?
that it's a lack of planning on behalf of the board or the staff?
Now, Ms. Luper, I'm just wondering what it is. What it is.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get the president.
I'm confused.
I'm trying to get the president of the board, the Honorable Mr. Leo Heiss, now on the telephone. And if any of you know any board members, I think that they have a responsibility to explain it to the people.
Well, I think if anybody's going to explain it, it should be the board president. That's who I've been looking for.
We need to pray for ourselves, because if we have voted an $80 million package, and I think they say that's why we're going to name this school after Mrs. Parks, because she led a movement to build to pass a bond issue.
But
then if we have passed an $80 million bond issue.
Luper. See, here again, I'm a slow student, and I don't understand that kind of statement. Because one person can't get the votes of the people. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe you're not quite quoting it right, but I'm kind of slow student to catch on, so maybe you're not quoting it quite right, that a slow student can understand it.
Well, I'm just reading what I've heard, a lack of planning, and we are getting ready now to plan to go to Hoffman in 1995 for the Ford reunion, and Mr. Rodney Ford and the other Fords are planning it. See, Hoffman people plan, and if the Oklahoma City school system, with all of its high-paid salary people, with its board of education that's highly capable, and with the young lady that the school is named after, if they have not planned, then something else must be done. Letty, I gotta go. This is the Clara Luper radio show.
Thanks and happy Thanksgiving to all of those that I did not get to say to it on yesterday. Oh, bye now.
Okay. Let me see here. Do we have Mr. Heiss on the telephone? Why? Well, get Mr. Heiss. Get Mr. Leo Heiss. Mr. Leo Heiss told me one thing and did another. I want to hear. I do have some good news for those of you that are members of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, and that is from my sorority sister, Mrs. Stevens. Miss Stevens?
Yes, I am here.
How are you feeling? I didn't know you had been in the hospital.
I have
Huh?
I have a steel knee, a metal knee, and I have been in there and I am out. And I am very thankful for the Zetas and the friends and all who have been to visit me and contacted me and sent the flowers and cards and everything. And I am home and walking on a metal knee, and I am doing fine.
I
And I
certainly
wanted you-
appreciate, I've been out of the state. I've been out in California and then back to Texas and then to the borderline of Arkansas, and I didn't know you were in the hospital. I'm going to get by there to see you before Monday morning.
And thank you for letting me just tell the public about arthritis and then it will do to a knee. And I am doing fine on a metal knee. And
Well,
thanks
honey,
very much.
you are fine anyway with your fine self. God bless you, and thanks so much for calling me.
And thank you.
Let the people speak. And when the people speak, go out to Javon's Style Show at 11105 North Penn, and she will give you the kind of hairstyle that you deserve. You may call her for an appointment, 752-7332. Eugene's Hair Connection, located at 1907 North Classen Boulevard, is also ready to serve you. If it's something that you want in the Weldon line, call M&W Weldon Company, 2601 Northeast 23rd Street. The telephone number is 424-1482. As usual, Ancient Thread has the Christmas present that you will like at a price that you can pay at 1909 North Classen Boulevard in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Sir Charles Attila has 15% off on purchases of 100 or more. All you have to do is go out there and tell them you heard it on the Clara Luper radio show. And I will tell you one thing. Once you go to Sir Charles, and I'll let you know exactly where to go at 1024 South of Douglas Boulevard in Midwest City. The telephone number is 733-7600. Call for an appointment. You deserve a tailor-made suit. You deserve the best. Alterations of all kinds. Trousers, jeans, suit coats, top coats, leather coats, skirts, military. Sir Charles Attila can do it all. They also have fashion jewelry. Fashion outlets, something that's new in Oklahoma City. Fashion Jewelry Manufacturers has chosen Sir Charles Attila as their factory outlet here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Holiday. Mr. Heiss?
Hi, Mrs. Luper. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you. I really had a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm
Mr.
blessed.
Heiss, we have talked many times about the problems in the Oklahoma City school system. You are the president, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it true, Mr. Heiss, that we will have a deficit of $3.2 million?
No, ma'am, it's not. What it is, we do have some projections that are out. Is if we continue in the costs continue and so forth, there's a possibility that it could be projected to be that much. But at the present time, we don't have a deficit at all. We have only expended about a third of the bond issue money.
Okay, now I don't understand, sir, and I wish you would make it clear to me. You are saying that it's only a projection.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Is that the way you operate on projections?
Well, we ourselves, what we have done, Ms. Luper, we ran into several problems with asbestos and so forth, and we estimated the cost of all the bond project to be $89.9 million. And running into a few asbestos problems and a few things that we had, like opening up Cleveland and Nichols Hills and Classen and Southeast, we ran into a few problems over there that, could be considered cost overruns. And what we're saying, the projections were that if we continue to run into those problems, it could exceed the bond issue. However, one of the things we're doing as we go along is when we find other maintenance problems in the building, we are repairing those problems, and we may have to go to the building levy fund to cover those areas.
Are you telling me, Mr. Heiss, that with all of your all's experience in schools, because when I was out at John Marshall High School, we had an asbestos problem.
Mm-hmm.
You all were not aware of that before then?
No, we were aware of it. One of the problems we've had in John Marshall is a prime example of where we had a contractor come in. They had our asbestos management plan right in front of them, and yet they drilled into where there was asbestos. Well, when they did that, immediately we had to take emergency action. So that's some of the problems that have been encountered, is some of the contractors have not used our asbestos management plan to stay clear of those areas.
Mrs. Thelma Park states that according to the Daily Oklahoman, call the shortfall involving in the school a lack of planning. Is that true?
I don't believe it was. Ms. Luper, you've been in education for many, many, many years.
You're right.
And you understand how it is when educators plan things. They plan on a very optimistic level and optimistic approach to things, because that's how you deal with children. And I think what she is saying on lack of planning, for example, if you go into a school and you estimate what the cost of renovating that building may be, when you get into that problem and you get into the infrastructure of that building, you may find other problems. We ran into that at Douglas High School when we started re-roofing the building there. Beneath the roofing, we found some weak structures, so we replaced those weak structures. The same thing happened with the skylight windows over at Taft Middle School. We thought that we could re-roof that building and just repair around the skylight windows. However, when they got in there, they could not stop the leakage, so we had to replace those skylight windows.
Okay, you're replacing that with the bond issue money?
Yes, that's all part of the renovation, and that's the reason sometimes we have some cost overruns, because we discover a problem, like the beams in one area of Douglas High School. We had to replace those because we discovered when we took that roof off that they should be replaced.
Mr. Heiss, I know you've been a very successful insurance agent in the state of Oklahoma. And you're telling me, with all of y'all's knowledge, and you keep saying, we did this. What are you talking about? Are you talking about we, the board members?
Well, no, I'm speaking about we, the administration, the Oklahoma City School District. Ms. Luper, we have a superintendent who is in charge of the school district on the day-to-day operation. The board normally, and this is our function, the administration brings to us plans and programs, and then it's up to the board to decide whether we should go forth with those programs. But the administration is the one that brings the plans to the Board of Education.
Okay, now, according to the reports that we have, we probably will not be financially able to build the 2 new schools, and you're quite aware of how I felt about naming the school after Thelma Parks.
I certainly am.
Because I talked to you about it.
Yes, and that is an incorrect statement. That the 2 new elementary schools were part of the bond issue, Mrs. Luper. What we're having is you want to know the truth.
Yes, I want the truth.
Okay, the truth is we have 2 board members that are in a power struggle with each other.
A power struggle?
Well, they're trying to see who's the most powerful on the board. In other words, if one of them says something, the other one is going to criticize it.
Well, that's an educational tragedy.
Well, certainly it is, and that's what I'm trying as board president, trying to get the board to pull together. But from reading in the newspapers, you can see that basically those things really hinder the bond project, and they put a bad image out about the school district, and it hurts the children. You know, our main interest is in the children. And,
well, Mr. Heiss, where are the children going to come from that will be attending the Thelma Parks Elementary School? Are you closing Martin Luther King, Longfellow, Dewey, or Polk?
well, we're not going to close any schools.
Well, where are the kids going to come from?
Well, they have, there's going to be a twofold purpose there, Mrs. Luper. One is that it is going to be a magnet school in which children from all over the district...
Are you going to bus children?
If the children apply for that school...
No, wait. Answer me, Mr. Heiss. Are you going to bus kids?
The only way that we will be busing children in there is it is going to be by application. If a child applies to attend that particular school, then yes, we will provide transportation.
Well, I thought we had gone back to neighborhood schools.
Well, we have to a great extent. However, we are still working on our efforts to try to get our schools integrated.
But your schools are not segregated, is that right?
Well, that's a problem we have to be concerned about all
I know
the time.
it's a problem. It's been a problem ever since we started the process of integration in 1954. But isn't it true that the schools on the northeast side of Oklahoma City now are 99% black?
That's right, and that is something that I'm very concerned about, that we have not been able to achieve integration. If we had continued on integration as we did back in 1969, then we would not be having these problems. But you know, we can't go back and correct mistakes that have been made. We just have to continue to see how can we work to bring about integration. I know you dedicated...
Okay, Mr. Heiss, I would like to invite you to be my guest again next Saturday because there are some important announcements that I must make. Thank you so very, very kindly.
Thank you, Mrs. Luper, and hope you have a good weekend now.
Oh, yes.
God bless you.
God bless you, too, and your Board of Education. And may God bless you all to make some decisions that will help all of us.
Thank you, dear.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, anyway, Clara Luper's moving on up. Leo High said, call me dear. I'm moving on up. On Sunday, there will be a parade to a new church. The Mount Trine Baptist Church will be moving into a new building. There will be a parade at exactly 10 o'clock, and the parade will start on 4th and Byers and go to Reno and east on 5th Street to Lottie, and then Lottie, they will go north to 10th Street, and then they will go to the Mount Trine Baptist Church. Reverend Luther C. Jones is the minister. Holiday greetings are being extended to you from Roth Funeral Home, 1936 Northeast 36th Street. The telephone number is 424-4136. Let's take care of business before we die, because then we can't take care of it. Temple Funeral Home is located at 2801 North Kelly Avenue. The telephone number is 427-8321. Funeral services, I'm not quite sure when the funeral service of Mr. Herbert Ballot will be, and I do hope somebody will call me at 672-1220. We would like to extend our sincere sympathy to the Scobie family, and we'll be telling you more about that next week. Mr. Crawley's Bond Service, 427-3531. Crawley's Bond. If you get in jail now and you want to get out, be sure and call Crawley's, C-R-E-W-L-E-Y. Crawley's, listed in your telephone directory. Calvin, I just announced my bachelor's list, and I say that I don't want the same people on it.
I don't blame you. I don't either. But, Mom, before you get off into that bachelor's list, I want to remind everybody that Crawley you're talking about, the Crawley that you're talking about, that's Jim Crawley. That's Mr. Douglas High School, as we affectionately like to call him. His office is located there on 36 in about the 1000 block. Invite you to go by there. But I want to be part of that audience out there today that is letting everyone know that I hope that you had a happy Thanksgiving. And those of you that experienced tragedy, and we all did, because of Dr. Hall, as we sat there and we were getting that information in, it was just a pall that went over all of our holiday spirits. But then we can remember Dr. Hall, not only at homecoming, but the many days and the many nights there at Langston University, where one thing was uppermost on his mind, that was making sure that Langston became a higher institution of learning that will be recognized all over this world. And Dr. Hall, I want you to know that, and I want all of you out there to know that from Langston, that even if you aren't from Langston, haven't been a part of Langston, is that scholarship fund should be one of the largest funds that ever come through Langston University history, because that young man had done so much to help so many. But Mom, along with that, I appreciate you making sure that I would not apply this year to be on the bachelor's list, but I want everyone out there to know that in order to be on the bachelor's list, you have to call Clara. You have to be a real bachelor.
On to Langston, on to victory. Next Saturday, Langston will be at Owasso playing Northeastern, and let's charter buses. Let's get on cars.
That's an highlight too. Langston in the finals in football.
Yes,
it's been a long time since that, but things are changing.
Okay, things are changing, and Shelley would like to say thanks to the Black Caucus, and she received a citation that's really a sign. It's signed by the State Senator Angela Munson, State Senator Maxine Horner, Representative Don Ross, Representative Calvin Cox, and Representative Opio Toure. Shelley say thanks.
You know, Shelley's really been happy to receive all the congratulatory statements.
But she hasn't got one from the NACP.
She hasn't.
I asked Mr. Milton, and I will tell you more about that election next week because it's being challenged. I told you that last week. And I want each one of you to know how much I appreciate you, how much I love you, and you prove your love to me, and you invited me over to dinner for Thanksgiving. Now Christmas is coming up, and I want you to remember me. Hello? We have a half a minute. Hello?
The only thing I'm going to tell you, the Ballard's funeral is Tuesday. Herbert Ballard's funeral is Tuesday at 11 a.m. at Friendship Baptist Church.
Herbert Ballard.
Ballard's funeral is Tuesday, and in the meantime at 11 o'clock. And Wednesday.
At Langston University. The IW.
No, that's Herbert Ballard.
Herbert Ballard.
It's when now? Tuesday.
At 11.
At 11 o'clock.
Friendship Baptist Church.
Friendship Baptist Church. Thank you so very kind. In the meantime, we know it's time for us to say goodbye. We hate to say goodbye to you before we tell you how much we love you.
This is AM 1220, KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.